start. Okay, thank you to everyone. My name is Mr. Pudiane Ben. I am back today. And then with me, I have my host, Mr. Khalid, who is far away from me here. And then today, we are going to continue with our lesson since we have completed other lessons before. Then I believe that you are ready to do the practical task for term 2, because these tasks that I'm doing right now, from this week, even next week, I'm going to help you to be able to do that task, because it is a technology and science task. Since you know it is natural science and technology, so together they form one subject. Then this task involved the skills that you must know from science and also the skills that you must know from technology side. So these two different subjects, they were put together. Then it is very important to know the process used in science. They are because they are related subjects. So without any waste of time, today I'm going to focus on the frame structure. That is the lesson for today. So at the end of the lesson, you must be able to explain what struts are and how they strengthen frame structures. You must also be able to explain why struts are so important for structures. Those are the only two objectives for today. I don't have much to say. Now, let's start with our lesson. Now, we hear about what you call the strut, and then we hear about the frame structure. Now, if I can hold a piece like this, and then it is a structure on its own. But if it's one piece, it needs to be joined with other pieces. Now, let me join with another piece. And these two pieces, now they formed a frame after I just joined them together. They form a frame. I can still join another one here to complete maybe a triangle frame. Then let me join it. Let me join it. Yes, I complete a triangle frame. I'm using cardboard. This is a triangle. Now this frame have got 1, 2, 3 struts. These connecting members, we call them members of a structure, are called struts. So on number 1 on the slide, it says the structures need to be strong, rigid, and stable. Those two things, they must be strong, they must be rigid and stable. These are the important things you must know, those 3 things. Just keep in mind, when you talk about structure, they must meet the strength, they must be rigid, they must be stable. Strong means they must not bend easily. They must be rigid. They must be able to stand on their own without you helping them, holding them up. Number 2, structures must be able to hold their own weight and other weights. Now, if there is a structure, you must be able to put things on top. Before you put things on top, it must also be able to hold its weight. So some structures that are very poorly constructed, they cannot hold their place. They can even fall on their own without external force acting on them. Number 3, structures must not bend, break, or fall over. Is the same as number 2. Must not happen to, if you have a bicycle, be happy to see a bicycle broken, or the bicycle that falls when you are busy cycling, or the bicycle that bends when you are on top of it. So that will be a very poor structure. Number 4, we build strong structures using strong materials like steel or wood. In the previous lessons, we talked about different materials and their strength. We also talked about choosing the correct material for the appropriate structure you want to build. So the structures must be built on steel or wood if you want them to be strong. And I also introduced a new thing, which is not there. I told you about carbon fiber. This is the modern strong material that is being used today. The Formula One car vehicles are built using carbon fiber. It's very light and it is very strong. Number 5, the frame structures are made of different parts or struts joined together. This is what I was explaining. If you see anything with jointed parts, it's a frame. Once you look at the window, you see the jointed parts. You look at the butler door, you look at the gate, that is the definition of a frame structure. Number 6, struts push against each other. All these 4 struts, they push each other so that they are able to support. That is all about the strut and the frame structure. So we learned that the struts make up the frame, and the members of the frame structure are called the struts. Now with me, look, I was trying to do something here in the morning. I was trying to make this thing. Yesterday, we have done this part, the hollow tube, and then I did the other one here. And now I was trying to build a structure. Look at this structure at the top. It falls this side and that side. Is it a strong structure? Can you regard it as a strong structure? Look, number 1, is it rigid, this structure? Look at the structure. Willow, do you have an answer? Willow, is this structure Jada Dreyer? I want one of you to tell me, is this structure very strong or rigid? Anybody with the answer? I just need you to answer me on this one. Many people want to give me the answer about the structure that they've just built. Do you have any answer? Any one of you? Naledi, Husani, Makamnaka, yes, Asiya. Anybody can give the answer.
No.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, that's correct. I believe everybody, they see this structure, it just falls the way it wants. So this structure is not a rigid structure. and it's not a stable structure, and it is not a strong structure. It cannot stand on its own. That is the meaning. This structure is not strong, and then therefore we cannot regard it as a stable structure. So you cannot buy this type of structure because it's a very poor design. But we can do something to make it strong. Before I go to that, let us come to the next slide. Before I come to that part, I'm still going to take it so that you tell me what is it that I must do in order for it to be strong. Now I'm coming to the next part. Let me check whether you are understanding or whether you are listening. On the next slide, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. What are 3 ideal characteristics of structures? What are 3 ideal characteristics of structures? I'm actually saying, what are the important things that the structures must have? Or how should the structures look like? That is, I'm just trying to clarify the question. Yes, how should structures look like? Zano, Willow, Dylan, Zo, Husani, anybody give me the answer? Yes? Any one of you?
The structure, they are strong and they are weak.
Okay, structures need to be strong, ne? It's number 1. Structures need to be strong. Number 2, I told you 3 things. I said structures, you only answered 1. Structures need to be strong. The other one, rigid. The third one, stable. Those are the 3 things that I've just told you. Structures need to be strong, rigid, and stable. That is the only thing that you must know on the previous slide. The rest of the things, it was an explanation. Just underline those 3 things. If you are able to know those 3 aspects or those 3 important things on structures, then you understand structures. Because number 2, number 5 explain number 1. That is the answer to that question. Number B, what are 2 materials that could be used for structure? Anybody? Yes, I can pick Naledi for this question. Naledi, do you have the answer?
Yes, sir.
Yes, I want the answer number B.
It's wood and steel.
What are 2 materials? That's correct. Wood is correct. Okay. You are still thinking about the other one.
Wood.
Never mind. There are a lot of materials. You remember we learned about raw materials previously, but now, not a problem. Let me give other people the chance to give me the answer for that other question. Thank you very much for the answer. Thank you very much. Let me give other learners to give me. I want Dylan. It's a long time I talked to you, Dylan. I want answer number B for the material that could be used for a structure. Dylan, do you have the answer for that? Okay. No. All right. Naledi said we need wood is one of the of the material that could be used for a structure. So I'm going to use steel or iron. Let me say steel. Normally buildings, tall buildings use steel for them to make the frame structure. Now I also told you about something else. That is carbon fiber. It's new technology, modern technology. The cars that are built today that are very fast, they are built using carbon fiber beforehand, because we are going forward, not backwards. Then number C, what strong materials can be used to build structures? What strong materials? Now I'm looking for any other strong material. Any other strong material? Willow, can you give me the answer for that? Any strong material? Wuzani? Okay, I'll just proceed. We talked, you know about a lot of strong materials. You know about them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, what any other material you can give me?
The fiber.
Yes, carbon fiber. Good. Carbon fiber. This one, if you know it, I clap hands for you, because it's not in the book, but it's the new type of material being used today. So let us pass the checkpoint and go to the next part. Struts in human body. This one talk about the struts in human body. Because lastly, when in the first part of the lesson, we're talking about the frame structure made from struts like this one. So this one is not a human. Now let's focus on a human being. With me, I have a skeleton. Remember the skeleton I have shown you last time? Do you see the skeleton? Now, I'll start on the head. It's called the skull. Yes, this is the skull. It looks like an eggshell. Do you see? It looks like an eggshell, this skull. So we call it a shell structure. This is a shell. Yes, we call it a shell structure. Now we go to the ribs. This bone is called ulna. This one is called ulna. This is the rib bones, or you can say the rib bones. This is the sternum. Yes, and now this part. Do you see there are a lot of jointed parts here? Lot of jointed bones. What can you call these bones? If you don't use the medical name, you know that is the rib bones. But in technology, what can you call this one piece of this bone? What can you call it? According to this lesson, Zo, can you give me the answer? What can you call one piece of a rib bone? Hello? Okay, the piece of a rib bone can be called, yes, what is it? Is a what? I want the bone, one bone. Yeah, what can you call it?
Ribs. It's your ribs.
It's my ribs. You are right. But
people shut up.
the ribs in terms of technology are called this frame structure. Do you understand me? Do you understand me? I'm not looking for a medical terminology or a biological terminology. I'm looking for a technological answer to say these bones you can see here, we call them struts. The same as this one. These bones, these members of this structure, they've got 3 struts here. Now, we've got many struts here that make up the rib cage. Now, I'm going backwards. Now I have what we call the backbone. This is the backbone. I've got a lot of bone from the bottom. Then you go up, lot of them, they make up this frame. It's a frame up to there, up to the top. Now you go down, because I cannot show you everything. The only thing I can do, because the camera is very close to me. Now you see these legs. Yes, these are the bones on the feet, behind the feet. Now you can see this bone here, very strong bone that connects the hip. This is the hip. This is the hip. This bone connects the hip. And this other bone connects the hip. You can see these 2 bones are carrying the whole body. They are carrying the top part. They are carrying from here up to here. These 2 strong bones. So on number 2, they form part of our skeleton. We say that form part of our skeleton, which is also a frame structure. And then the bones in our legs and arms are struts and give shape to our bodies. So if you can imagine, if you cannot, you are not having the bones, you are going to roll like a ball. You are going to roll like a ball if you don't have the bones. You'll be just rolling on the ground. So the bone helps you to stand up. So these bones are called the struts of the body. They give you the shape. You are able to smile. You have teeth inside your mouth. You have the jaws. Then you are able to move them up and down. You are having the neck. You can turn it right, left, because of these bones leaning downwards like a ball. So in the human body, we've got struts that are joined together at the joints with muscles. My skeleton does not have muscles, but the muscles join these struts together. I use the pins to join this part, this structure. But with the human body, you need the muscles in your body. They connect your bones together. Very strong muscles, they call them tendons. Now our bones need to be strong for the body to work properly. If you have the weak body, you will not be able, if you don't have strong bones, you will not be able to work properly. I can just tell you something, out of this lesson. I just tell you something that I know, but just keep it in mind. In 2010, I met one of the people who went to space. He's called Leland Melvin. I met him in Cape Town. And he told me that when people go to space, when they go to space and live in space, they lose the body mass. I mean, the bones lose their body mass. Their bones become thinner. And when they come back to the earth, they go to the mass meter. I mean, to go for weight, to check their weight. They discover that their heads are bigger and they are big. They have holes inside. So they have to go for a treatment for 6 months. They have to sleep in a hospital so that they give them a lot of calcium so that they are able to regain their bone strength. If you don't, you come from space after spending long time there, you come back to Earth, then you'll happen to break most of your bones. So I was wondering why, when they come back from space to the Earth, they first go for checkups and many other things. So Lillian Melvin told me that that is the reason, one of the reasons why when they come back from space, they have to go for a checkup of all the things, the system in their bodies, whether they are still working properly or not. So you can see the bones are very important for our bodies. Imagine a crippled person or somebody without all the teeth, like myself. I don't have all the teeth. Some of the teeth, yeah, were broken because when I was still young, I was eating a lot of sweets. Now, someone is disabled, have no one leg, and then someone have no toe bone, then is unable to walk properly. So once you break one bone or once something gets wrong with only one bone in your body, you are a disabled person. That is why our bones are very important. That is when I realized the importance of the bones in the body from Lillian Melvin. So we can summarize it again. I said there are also struts in human body. They form part of a skeleton. The bones in the legs and arms and strut give shape to our bodies. In the human body, strut join together with muscles. Our bones need to be strong for our body to work. Now, here are the questions. What sort of structure is the skeleton? I want you to know, I want you to tell me the answer. What sort of structure is a skeleton? What sort of structure is a skeleton? You saw the skeleton. What sort of structure is that? Okay, I want the answer for that. What sort of structure is a skeleton?
So it's a bone structure. Sir. Sir. Sir.
It's a what?
It's a bone structure.
Yes, according to our explanation here. Hello? Okay, it is. Okay, no, I do understand you. These are the bone structure. The skeleton is a bone structure. Yes, it is a bone structure. But in terms of technology, we call it a frame structure. We call it a frame structure. Yes. You see, this frame structure. Number B, what sort of bones in skeleton are struts? I do that this when I was studying this skeleton, I said this one. And now this one, I said of it is a strat. And if you call all
Sir. Sir, can you repeat your question? Sir!
Okay. Yeah, now it's back. Thank you. Yes, let me make it quickly now. I'm here, I'm back. I'm coming back to the structure that I made. I'm coming back to the structure that I made. Now, before it breaks again, if we're having a problem with the internet, I don't know what happened. Just something happened, I don't know. But here is it. I'm taking back this structure. What must I do to make it stable? What must I do to make this structure stable? What must I do? What must I do? What must I do to it? I have this piece. I have this piece. What must I do with it? Now look what I'm doing. Look what I'm doing. I'm letting it stand upright. Then I'm going to put this part here. I'm going to put this part here to let it stand. Now I'm going to this pin. I use the pin. I use the pin here.
Sorry, sir.
Then I use the pin again here so that it can stand. I put 2 pins there. Now let's see. Now it still falls down. You see, it still falls down. What must I do to this part?
Mr. Pudiane? Sir?